In this video, I'm going to show you how to schedule in and build reports from the reports section. It's a major part of Competency Cloud, and it gives you the ability to report on a wide variety of information that you've got withheld in the system. So there's three main parts, although there is four there. We usually ignore the reports wizard, so use the templates, scheduled reports, and generated reports. So to get started, report templates. This is where you can view any existing reports by clicking into them. You can modify them as well by clicking in. You can create new reports using this button here, and also delete any report templates from here. And this is also where you will schedule in the report once you've created it. But first we need to create one, so I'll show you this. In the report creator, you've got three different parts: the details, columns, and criteria sections of the report. The best way is to work left to right, so do this column first. The report name and description are mandatory fields, and they will appear on the generated report on the output at the top of the page. So normally for an example of a report, you could do a first aid report, so you'd write first aid report in there and a brief description. So just for this video, I'm going to show you just a test report. So we'll just enter, this is a test report. Scroll down, you can change the page size, A3, A4, A5, and also page orientation, put landscape or portrait. This is important to consider because the bigger the page, the more rows and columns that you'll be able to have on your report. We've also got some tick boxes here. So if you have a look down all of these, you might want to tick some and not others. For this test, I'm just going to tick the show the CITB number. So that will come through. You know, you could have subsidiaries, trades. We're going to have include employed employees. This is an interesting one, auto size columns. If you have this ticked, it means that the column width will be the same as the data within it. What I'm going to do is untick that because I want all of my columns to be the same width. Once you're happy with what you've ticked and the information in the details, you can save that part. Once that's saved, we can move on to the next part, which is the report columns. The recommendation button is just a guideline onto how many columns and rows that you'll fit on per page, dependent on the page layout that you go for. We now need to add the columns to our report. So if you click the plus here, you've got the column name, which is again mandatory and will appear at the top. Your training type, here's a long list of your training types in the system. So you'll have to select one of those. You can also tick whether they must have or don't have. You can use the Y function instead of date, and do you want this column to show on the report? So just an example. I've added the PASMA there. And now I'll just quickly add a few more rows and columns so that, you know, we get a decent sized report at the end. So there, now we have 5 columns in. You can edit the columns if you wish from here. You can also delete the columns by pressing the red X. You can also move the columns to a different section into a different order by doing that, just a drag and drop function. Once you're happy, just remember to save the report as well. And then you can move on to the last part, which is report criteria. Now this is a function that will highlight any cells that you want to be highlighted. So for example, if you want a cell to show up in red for a training type that's expired, you can do that by choosing red here. And the days, month and years will leave as 0 because these dates are the training type has expired within 1 year. For example, if you wanted it to show 1 year, within 1 year, because we want to show expired now, we'll put nothing in there, and that's red. If you wanted to do 1 or 2 years, for example, you can have that in orange. So I'll put 2 years. So when it's generated on the output, the Excel will show any training that's going to be expiring in the next 2 years in orange. Once we've done that, you can save the report again, and we'll move on to back to the report templates, where you can see that's now been added at the bottom, test report. If you have a long list of reports, you can filter in here and quicker. You can also delete, as I said before, and the main part now is once you've generated your report is to schedule it in. Again, this is a test. It's a mandatory field, so that has to be populated. The schedule types, you've got ad hoc, hourly, daily, weekly, monthly. What we're going to do is ad hoc. However, if you wanted to do it monthly, for example, you select monthly and then which day of the month you want it to be produced. So first day of the month, for example, and that will be scheduled in. You will only have to do that once, and every month it will produce the report for you. I've chosen ad hoc because I want to see the report instantly. Include all employees, all sites, subsidiaries. The report start and end date is the date range of any training dates. So any training expiry dates that expire within this date range will appear on the report. So I'm just going to put 11th of June 2017 till the 11th of June 2023. So we've got a 6-year period there. Edit email configuration. This is useful, so you can email the report out to any mailing groups you've created, any employees, any email addresses that you have in the system. You can do that. Once you're happy, schedule the reporting. Now you can move to the next stage, which is scheduled reports on the left. You can see there our test report appears there. Schedule status is scheduled. The output type is Excel, which is the only output type at the moment. From here, you can also edit the report. You can suspend it and delete it. So if you want to suspend the schedule, you can do that and then resume it when you wish. Give it a few moments for an ad hoc. Usually within a minute or two, it will have been generated. So we'll just have a look here, and it has. So there's our test report. From here, you can view, you can email it again, or you can delete it. What we're going to do is view it. And here you can see our finished report. You've got the last name column there, the first name, the CITB number, PASMA, PASMA tower, managing safely, health and safety, and IPAF. The white ones, the white cells are ones that haven't expired yet, or they're not due to expire in the next 2 years. The orangey coloured are due to expire within 2 years of today. And obviously there's one in red, which means that has already expired and that is in the past. Up at the top you can see the name of the report and the description, and also the date range that you selected. If we go back into scheduled reports, you'll see that because ours was ad hoc, it's been removed from the scheduled reports. However, if you had an hourly, monthly, weekly report, then they would still stay scheduled in. So whenever you come into the scheduled reports, you'll see each report that's, weekly, monthly, they will still be there, and it'll let you know when they're scheduled for. I hope that's given you a good insight into how to build and schedule reports on Competency Cloud. So thanks very much for watching.